This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Friday, September 16. In Squiz Kids Today, the end of COVID is in sight. Dubai's Moon Hotel, your footy finals preview, and the world's most polite bear. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
Can you see that? No, look a little more closely. That pinprick of light in the darkness. It's the light at the end of the COVID tunnel, following the release of a report yesterday saying the end of the COVID pandemic is in sight. I know, right? For almost 3 years now, the world has been in the grip of the coronavirus. And 3 years in a primary school kid's life is a big chunk of everything you've ever known. But according to the World Health Organization, which is the big organisation based in Switzerland that keeps an eye on the health of all humans in the world, the end of the pandemic is finally in sight. And while that's undeniably good news, it came also with a warning. Now is not the time to become complacent. Complacent is a fancy way of saying you get a bit too confident and start to relax before you've actually crossed the finish line. According to health authorities, all the good habits we developed in the pandemic, the social distancing, the mask wearing, the hand washing, we should continue until the virus is well and truly defeated. Or, as the big boss of the World Health Organization put it yesterday, a marathon runner does not stop when the finish line comes into view, she just runs harder with all the energy she has left. So must we. According to the World Health Organization, no fewer than 12 billion doses of COVID vaccine have been jabbed into arms all over the world since the pandemic began. And those vaccines have saved an estimated 19.8 million lives around the world. That, my friends, is a lot of lives. Thanks, science.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Dubai, in the deserts of Arabia, where a hotel in the shape of the moon is about to be built. Why? Well, because it's Dubai and because they can. The hotel's exterior will measure 200 metres across and look exactly like the moon, with all of its craters and rocky grey surface replicated. Inside the massive sphere will be a world of moon-inspired entertainment, including low-gravity moonwalks, lunar rover taxis, and moon base simulator. Oh, and there'll be a nightclub inside the moon too, because where else would you go when it's time to put on some Michael Jackson moves and do a moonwalk? Oops, there's the dad joke alarm. Just squeezing one in before the holidays. And the best bit, while the first moon hotel is slated to be built in Dubai, the company building it says it has plans to have moon hotels in 4 locations around the world. A moon hotel in Broken Hill? Why not? And yes, of course, I've stuck a link in today's episode notes to an artist's impression of what the moon hotel might look like, plus a link to a video of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. Because it's a Friday, and the last podcast for the term, so fill your boots.
Sport time.
Strap yourselves in, sports lovers. This weekend is set to be a footy final sportsapalooza. It all kicks off tonight when the Brisbane Lions take on the Geelong Cats at the MCG in the first AFL preliminary final. Can the Cats continue their 14-game winning streak and steam into the grand final? Or will the boys from Brisbane stage another upset in the spiritual home of footy, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and book themselves their second grand final berth in as many years? All eyes will then be in Sydney on Saturday afternoon with the hotly anticipated Collingwood versus Swans preliminary final. Can Buddy Franklin lead his lads to victory, or will Jordan De Goey deliver for the Pies? Of course, it's a question no one at CommBank Stadium in Sydney will be asking on Friday night as the Raiders take on the Eels in the first NRL preliminary final for the weekend. The Eels will be desperate to keep their finals hopes alive. Then, tomorrow night, while the Swans fans will be filing out of the SCG victorious or licking their wounds, a capacity crowd is expected next door at the new Allianz Stadium as the Cronulla Sharks take on the South Sydney Rabbitohs for a shot at the semis. It's a sudden death game, my friends, meaning the loser waves goodbye to the 2022 season while the winner lives to play another day. Go the Sharkies!
Animal Kingdom.
And so to the United States we go, where the world's most polite bear has been making headlines. Video was circulating yesterday of a great big black bear nuzzling its way into a woman's house, using its enormous snout to push open the front door, before politely wiping its paw on the doormat, until the homeowner says to the bear, ever so gently, to "Close the door, sweetie," at which point the bear obliges, grabbing the doorknob in its teeth and pulling closed the door. The homeowner, Susan, is a bear lover of some renown in the New Jersey neighbourhood she lives in, which backs onto woods and regularly has bears wandering through it. She told reporters that she often has bears on her doorstep, and occasionally she'll come across one especially considerate bear who closes the door when his visit is over. Sometimes she barely even knows they are there. Gosh, I'm on a roll today. And yes, of course, I've stuck a link to video of the bear visit in today's episode notes. You're welcome. Ah, yes, it's that time of the year again. The September school holidays are upon us here in Queensland, and that means we're taking a little break here at Squiz Kids. Today will be our last episode of the podcast for a couple of weeks as I join my family on a little holiday, counting down the sleeps. But I know how much you're going to miss me, so I've gone and recorded a bunch of super cool school holiday kids versus adult quizzes to be released every Saturday of the holidays so you can test to see who's smarter, kids or adults. Together with all of our excellent Squiz Kids Shortcuts episodes and every episode we've ever recorded of Squiz the World, where we take you on an audio excursion to a different country each week, the quizzes are available to all our valued Apple subscribers. Simply search Squiz Kids in your podcasting app and click on Give Me More, or follow the link in today's episode notes.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. Where in the world is a moon-themed hotel being built? Yeah, that's right, it's in Dubai. Question number 2. Which team is playing Collingwood in a preliminary final at the SCG tomorrow? Yeah, that's right, it's the Sydney Swans. Question number 3. What extremely polite animal has been opening and closing doors in New Jersey in the United States? Yeah, that's right, it's a bear.
Shout outs.
It's September 16. Today is Independence Day in Mexico. Arriba, arriba. And if you're keen to know more about Mexico, our super excellent Squiz the World episode on this awesome Central American country drops today. Available to all classrooms on the Squiz Kids for Schools program and to all parents who subscribe to our Apple subscriber specials. Links to free trials of both are in today's episode notes. It's also a Friday, and that means a whole bunch of birthday shout-outs for today and the coming weekend, so settle in as we crack out the old birthday reggae tune. And it's happy birthday today too! Lillian from Shoal Bay, Tiffany from Campsie, Brenton from Wagga Wagga, Hunter from Port Macquarie, Evie from Parkes, Ollie from Hawthorne, Samantha from Bowen, Sam from Cherrybrook, Neve from Shenton Park, Olivia from Abbotsford, Lockie from Lower Mitcham, Clara from Seaford, Ella and Jack from Craigburn, Eliza from Bathurst, Bella from Minganoo, April from Hobart, and Brooke from Forbes. Phew! Not forgetting, of course, all of those Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday this weekend. Angus from The Gap, Harry from Exeter, Audrey from Bathurst, Aaron from Epping, Harrison from Goulburn, Roman from the Gold Coast, Monica from North Ryde, Zane from North of Oka, Ashwathi from Woongarra, Teresa from Broken Hill, Jensen from Craigburn, Clay from the Sunshine Coast, Emilio from Fremantle, Oliver from Morningside, Remy from Dalkeith, Tom from Middle Cove, Lucas from Gymea Bay, and Benjamin, who's listening all the way over there in Hong Kong, Willa, who's listening all the way over there in Washington, D.C., and Anthony, who's listening all the way over there in Los Angeles. Woohoo! What a cosmopolitan bunch you are. Don't forget, if you're celebrating a birthday over the school holidays, be listening during the first week back of Squiz Kids today for your belated birthday shout-out. There's just too many of you to squeeze in now. And special Friday classroom shout-outs go to the students at Queen of Peace Parish Primary School, and happy birthday to their teacher, Mrs. Woodward. Also, happy birthday to Mr. Dennett in K6 Dugong at Caringbah Public School. Finally, to Year 5-6 at Boorowa Central School from your teacher, Mr. Stewart, for your great effort during your school performance night. Little Red Rocking Hood will live on forever, says Mr. Stewart. And finally, special shout-outs go to the following listeners who recently became members of Squiz Kids for Schools using our special Term 4 promo, a link to which is in today's episode notes. To Ms. McIntosh in Grade 5 at Carolee State School, and Ms. Jensen in Year 4 at St Thomas More Catholic School in Roos. Welcome aboard to you both. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again on October 4. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.